Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Our today's topic is for class 11th, subject physics. In the previous lecture, we have derived the derivative of e raised power x and e raised power ax. Today, we will derive the derivative of sine of x, cos of x, and log of x. We have derived the formula. With the help of that formula, we can derive the derivative of these functions. And the function is dy divided by d of x is equal to limit h approach to 0 or h tending to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So we will solve one by one, and the very first function is y equal to sine of x. So we know that in case of abintio method there are 5 steps. Step first, with the help of these steps we can derive the derivative of these functions. So step first is we should have a function, and the function is y equal to sine of x. So I will write in this way: f of x is equal to sine of x. So it's equation first. In the second step, we give the increment of x as x plus h. So here we will give the increment of x as x plus h. Step second step. So the increment will be f of x plus h is equal to sine of x plus h. So this will be equation second. Now the step third. That is, we subtract equation first from equation second. Subtracting equation first from equation second. So I'll write the LHS of equation second. So that is f of x plus h minus times f of x is equal to sine of x plus h minus sine of x तो अगर आप यहां पर देखेंगे, so here it's a formula sine of a minus sine of b, or we can say sine of c minus sine of d. So we have a formula that is sine c minus sine d, that is equal to twice cos of c plus d divided by 2 into sine of c minus d divided by 2. So we will use this formula here. So we'll write f of x plus h minus times f of x is equal to, here it is a, it is c, and this is d. So we'll write it as it is c here, and this is d. So we'll write twice cos of c. So here c is x plus h plus d. So it is x divided by 2 into sine of c, that is x plus h minus times x whole divided by 2. So I'll write here f of x plus h minus times f of x, that will be equal to, so this is twice cos of, here it is x plus x, that will be 2x plus h divided by 2 into sine of, so it will be h divided by 2. I'll write here, this will be h divided by 2, or we can write f of x plus h minus times f of x is equal to, here it will be 2 and 2 will cancel to each other, so it will be x plus h divided by 2. So we can write here it will be twice cos of x plus h divided by 2 into sine of h divided by 2. Sine of h divided by 2. So this is the third step. Equation third, we'll write it as equation third. Now the fourth step is we'll divide both sides by h. Dividing both sides by h. So we'll divide both sides by h. We can write f of x plus h minus times f of x divided by h here. That is equal to twice cos of x plus h divided by 2 sine of h divided by 2 whole divided by h. Or we can write in this way. तो हमारे पास तरीका है, we can write here. So इस 2 को हम नीचे लाएंगे, so ये वापस वहीं आ सकता है. So we can write here f of x plus h minus times f of x divided by h, that is equal to, so I'll write in this way, cos of x plus h divided by 2 into sine of h divided by 2. I'll write here it as h divided by 2. So it was the fourth step. So it's equation fourth. So this will be equation fourth. Equation fourth. Now step fifth. Last step. Step fifth. Taking limits as h approaches 0, h tends to 0 on both sides. Taking limits as h tending to 0 on both sides. So we'll apply on both sides. Then we can write from this equation a limit h approach to 0 f of x plus h minus times f of x divided by h is equal to, here we will apply limit, or we write in this way, lim, limit h approach to 0, or we can say h tending to 0, cos of x plus h divided by 2 into sine of h divided by 2. I will write in this way, h divided by 2. Or we can write, no, this limit h approach to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h, that is equal to dy divided by d of x. So we'll write in this way, dy divided by d of x is equal to, here, now it's a question of limits. So we'll apply the limit here. So we can write here limit, we cannot apply directly the limit, or we can say here, so we'll write here limit h approach to 0, or cos of x plus h divided by 2 into limit, or we can write in this way, lim h approach to 0, or sine of h divided by 2 divided by h divided by 2. So this is an identity. We know that this identity, this is equal to 1. Limit theta tends to 0, sine theta divided by theta, that is 0. So this is equal to 1. So we'll write here dy divided by d of x is equal to limit h approach to 0, cos of x plus h divided by 2 into 1. Now when we apply h equal to 0, so this becomes cos, so this term becomes 0 and this will be cos of x. So we can write here dy divided by d of x is equal to, so when we apply h equal to 0, so we can write here, then it becomes cos of, here it becomes cos of x. So this is the derivative of cos of sine of x equal to cos of x. So this is d by dx of y. So what was y? So y was sine of x. Sine of x, that is equal to cos of x. Cos of x. तो ये हमारे पास फार्मूला है. Now we have another formula, that is d by dx of sine of x, that is equal to cos of x. So this is the derivative of sine of x equal to cos of x. तो अक्सर लोग गलती करते हैं यहाँ पर, वो ये कहते हैं कि इट्स द डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ साइन ऑफ एक्स इक्वल टू कॉस ऑफ एक्स. सो इट्स नॉट द डिफरेंशिएशन ऑफ साइन ऑफ एक्स, बट इट्स द डेरिवेटिव ऑफ साइन ऑफ एक्स दैट्स इक्वल टू कॉस ऑफ एक्स. डिफरेंशिएशन इज अ प्रोसेस, एक तरीका है जिससे हम इसको सॉल्व करते हैं, बट इट्स नोन एज द डेरिवेटिव ऑफ साइन ऑफ एक्स इक्वल टू कॉस ऑफ एक्स. सो इट वाज द फर्स्ट फंक्शन. Our second function is y equal to cos of x. No, this function. So we'll derive this function. We'll find the derivative of cos of x. So step first is we should have a function, and the function is cos of x. So I will write in this way: f of x is equal to cos of x. So equation first, this equation first. And the second step is we give the increment of y, we give the increment of x as x plus h. So we'll write here step second, that is f of x plus h is equal to cos of x plus h. So this is second equation. Now step third is we subtract equation first from equation second. Subtracting equation first from equation second. So we'll subtract here, that is f of x plus h minus times f of x is equal to, here it will be cos of x plus h minus times cos of x minus times cos of x. So again here it is a formula. Now it's cos of c minus cos of d. So we have a formula, cos c minus cos d. So that is equal to cos c minus cos d, that is equal to minus times twice sine of c plus d divided by 2 into cos of c minus d divided by 2. Cos of c minus d divided by 2. So we'll apply the formula here. So you can write here f of x plus h minus times f of x is equal to, now here cos of, so it will be minus times twice sine of c. So here c is x plus h plus d. So d is x whole divided by 2 into so here it is sine, it's not cos here, it is sine of c minus d divided by 2, sine of c minus d divided by 2. So I will write here sine c. So what is c? That's x plus h minus x divided by 2. Divided by 2. Okay, so we'll write here f of x plus h minus times f of x is equal to minus times twice sine of, so it will be x plus x, so it will be 2x. We'll write here 2x plus h divided by 2 into sine of, so this and this will cancel to each other, so this will be h, so sine of this will be h here. Okay, so we'll write here f of x plus h minus times f of x is equal to minus twice sine of, so this will be x plus h divided by 2 here, x plus h divided by 2 into sine of h divided by 2, h divided by 2. Okay, so we'll write here, so this is the equation third. This is third equation. Equation third. Now fourth step is step fourth, and step fourth is dividing both sides by h. Dividing both sides by h. So we'll divide both sides by h. Here it will be f of x plus h minus times f of x divided by h is equal to, so it will be minus twice sine of x plus h divided by 2 into sine of h divided by 2. Sine of h divided by 2 whole divided by h. So it's whole divided by h here. So this is equation fourth. So this is equation fourth. Now fifth equation. Now fifth step, last step, step fifth. So step fifth is taking limits as h approach to 0 on both sides. Taking limits as h approach to 0 on both sides. So I will write here limit h approach to 0 f of x plus h minus times f of x divided by h is equal to, here I will write here limit h approach to 0 minus twice sine x plus h divided by 2 into sine of h divided by 2 divided by h. So this limit h tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So this is dy divided by d of x. जैसे आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पर dy divided by d of x, that's limit h tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h, that is dy divided by d of x. So we'll write here dy divided by d of x is equal to, so this will be a limit h tending to 0 minus twice sine of x plus h divided by 2 into sine of h divided by 2 whole divided by h. So मैं इस 2 को यहाँ ले सकता हूँ. So we can write here dy divided by d of x is equal to limit h approach to 0. It will be minus sine of x plus h divided by 2 sine of h divided by 2 whole divided by. So this will be h divided by 2. I can write in this way, or we can write dy divided by d of x is equal to. So we'll write limit h approach to 0 minus times sine of x plus h divided by 2 into. I can write in this way, limit here h approach to 0 sine of h divided by 2 divided by, so this h divided by 2, this h divided by 2. So we know that this identity, so that's equal to 1, so it will be 1. So we can write here dy divided by d of x is equal to limit h tending to 0 minus sine of x plus h divided by 2 into 1. So this, in trigonometry we have some identities, and one of the identity is limit h approach to 0, limit h tending to 0 sine of theta divided by theta, so that is equal to 1. So we'll write here it is 1, or we can write here, so dy divided by d of x, dy divided by d of x is equal to, so this will be, so when we apply h equal to 0, so when h approaches to 0, so it becomes 0, so it will be minus times sine of x. So this is minus times sine of x, minus times sine of x. So when h is equal to 0, this term becomes 0, so it will be minus times sine of x, minus times sine of x. So this is the derivative of cos of x, or we can write here d by dx of, so y, हमारे पास है cos of x, that is equal to minus sine of x. So this is the derivative of cos of x, derivative of cos of x.